Hello, everyone. Today I'll be presenting my term paper titled The Role of Language in Constructing Identity, a study of nerd girls' communities of practice by Mary Buckholz. My name is Fernanda Maidana Ortega, and this research was conducted as part of my Sociolinguistics course under Professor Rocío Mazzoleni at the Universidad Nacional de Asunción. Let's dive into how language contributes to identity construction in high school settings, focusing specifically on nerd girls. To start, let's consider how high school peer groups shape identity. Students often choose groups that reflect their interests and self perceptions. Unlike the well known jocks or burnouts, the nerds form a unique community centered around intellectualism, self-expression, and a rejection of cultural norms. Mary Buckles' work, published in 1997, Why Be Normal? Language and Opposition in Nerd Girls' Communities of Practice, is foundational to this study. Buckles explored how nerd girls actively construct and maintain a unique social identity through language. This paper delves into Buckles' hypotheses, methods, and findings, which reveal language as a powerful tool for identity construction. The core hypothesis of Buckles' study is that nerd girls use language in a deliberate and strategic way to construct their identity. They don't just avoid mainstream culture, instead, they actively push back against it. Buckles suggests that the nerd girls adopt a formal, intellectual style of language to emphasize their intelligence and to distance themselves from high school's cool ideals. This choice is both an assertion of identity and a form of resistance, challenging what's traditionally expected of high school girls. By constructing a unique identity, these girls redefine femininity on their own terms. To explore this hypothesis, Buchholz used a qualitative ethnographic approach, conducting her study at Bay City High over the academic year. She focused on the Random Range Supreme Club, a small group of six nerd girls who shared a cohesive identity. The data collection involved two uh, key methods, participant observation and recorded interviews. By observing the girls in their natural setting and recording their conversations, but Buckholz was able to gather rich data on how they used language in real life. This setup provided an authentic insight into how the nerd girl's speech reflects their identity and resistance to mainstream culture. Buckles identified several distinctive linguistic and social practices among the nerd girls. Firstly, uh, they used a formal register, including Greco-Latinate vocabulary, which highlights their intelligence. They also avoided popular slang, which helped them resist mainstream culture. Academically, they engaged enthusiastically, often using assignments to express intellectual creativity. Their humor often involved irony and parody, challenging traditional norms in playful ways. And finally, they adopted distinctive dressing and behavior, deliberately choosing non-trending clothing to further emphasize their individuality. Together, these practices create a strong, cohesive identity that sets them apart from the other groups. The study's findings suggest that these language choices are conscious and strategic acts of identity construction. The nerd girl's choice to use formal language and an intellectual vocabulary isn't just a response to their social environment. It's a deliberate effort to align with their values. Through language, they emphasize their intelligence and academic focus. By rejecting mainstream slang and using humor to subvert conventional norms, they assert a distinct identity. This language serves not only as a marker of individuality but also as a way to challenge high school's dominant culture. An essential element of this study is the role of language as a tool of resistance, especially in relation to gender. In a high school culture where femininity often aligns with popularity, the nerd girls redefine what it means to be feminine by focusing on intellect and individuality rather than fitting in. Their language use challenges societal expectations, creating a space where they can express their identities freely. Bacall's research shows how these nerd girls create a supportive community that resists uh, hegemonic femininity, allowing them to pursue knowledge and self expression without conforming to the pressures of mainstream society. In conclusion, Mary Bacall's study at Bay City High illustrates the power of language in shaping social identity. The nerd girls use their language, dress, and behavior not only to set themselves apart, but to resist the hegemonic norms of high school life. This research highlights the impact of language as a tool for social resistance, showing us how individuals and groups can use language to assert unique identities. The insights provided by Bacall's work add valuable knowledge to the field of sociolinguistics, emphasizing the transformative role language plays in constructing and maintaining social identities. Thank you so much for paying attention.